Your body is doing hundreds of things right now without asking for your permission. Cells are repairing microscopic damage, your brain is running background diagnostics, your heart is adjusting its rhythm in real time, and your DNA is quietly getting patched up so you don't fall apart. All of this happens while you sit, relax, and think you're not doing much at all. The truth is, you're a walking biological supercomputer packed with hidden features most people never hear about. So let's go through 25 fun facts about the human body that reveal just how strange, powerful, and downright impressive you really are. Your stomach is a lot more hardcore than anyone gives it credit for. The acid inside it is strong enough to break down metal, with a pH level hovering around battery acid territory. You don't notice it because your body constantly replaces the stomach lining every few days. If it didn't, that acid would happily start dissolving the stomach itself. It's basically your body saying, "Thanks for the help digesting lunch, but please don't melt the container." Humans glow in the dark, and there is no exaggeration in that statement. Your cells release tiny amounts of light as a result of metabolic reactions, a kind of faint bioluminescence. Sensitive instruments can detect it, but the glow is far too weak for your eyes to ever see. You are, technically speaking, walking around with a built-in glow effect set permanently to ultra-low brightness. Your bones are engineering masterpieces. Weight for weight, bone is several times stronger than steel, thanks to its internal lattice structure. It's dense where it needs to be dense, flexible where it needs flexibility, and constantly self-repairing. Engineers study bone architecture to inspire new materials, but your skeleton has been showing off this trick since birth. Inside your gut is a second nervous system so complex that researchers sometimes call it a second brain. It contains over 100 million neurons, more than the brain of some animals, and produces neurotransmitters that influence mood, decision-making, and stress levels. That feeling in your gut when you sense something is off, it's not poetry, it's neurology. Your heart works with a level of power that's easy to underestimate. With every beat, it generates enough pressure to move blood several meters through the air. It keeps this up day and night without resting, adjusting to whatever you're doing, running, sleeping, stressing, relaxing, while pushing liters of blood through your system every hour. It's one of the most reliable engines you'll ever encounter. Your sense of smell is far better than you've been led to believe. For a long time, people thought humans had a weak sense of smell compared to animals. Later research overturned that completely. You can detect around 1 trillion different odors, thanks to hundreds of receptor types that work together like a highly advanced chemical scanner. You're basically running a smell-based operating system without noticing it. When it comes to long-distance running, humans outperform almost every other species on Earth. We're not the fastest sprinters, that title goes to animals built like missiles, but endurance is where we shine. Our bodies cool efficiently through sweating, our joints support shock absorption, and our posture is designed to keep us moving forward for hours. Early humans used this ability to wear down prey simply by outlasting it. Your brain is constantly buzzing with electrical activity. In total, that activity adds up to about the amount of energy needed to power a small LED bulb. Each neuron communicates with others through tiny electrical signals that fire thousands of times per second. Put together, it's a storm of activity that keeps your thoughts, memories, and reflexes running with incredible precision. Your skin is on a non-stop recycling program. Every hour, you shed hundreds of thousands of tiny skin particles, so many that over a year, the total adds up to roughly your body weight. Much of the dust floating through indoor air is actually tiny pieces of humans constantly falling off. You've basically been snowing indoors your entire life without noticing. The strongest muscle in your body, relative to its size, is the masseter, the jaw muscle responsible for biting. People love to say the tongue is the strongest muscle, but the jaw easily wins that title. Under certain conditions, a human bite can exert over 80 kilograms of force. Fortunately, we mostly use that strength for chewing through snacks instead of anything dramatic. Your eyes are astonishingly fast processors. The visual system can respond to an image in just a few milliseconds, far faster than the refresh rate of many modern screens. This is why the world appears smooth and continuous even though everything around you is always in motion. Your eyes and brain work together like a high-speed camera connected to an even faster computer. Your liver is multitasking on a level that puts most devices to shame. It performs hundreds of functions at once, filtering toxins, storing vitamins, processing nutrients, balancing energy, and helping regulate hormones. It's basically a biochemical factory operating around the clock with no planned downtime. If it could talk, it would probably demand a vacation. Your fingertips wrinkle in water for a very practical reason: better grip. When your fingers stay submerged, your nervous system triggers a response that tightens blood vessels in the skin, creating small channels and ridges. These patterns help you handle wet objects more securely, almost like built-in rain treads. What looks like prune fingers is actually your body optimizing traction. You take around 23,000 breaths a day without thinking about it. Every breath pulls oxygen into a surface area inside your lungs roughly the size of a tennis court. That enormous surface allows your body to absorb and circulate oxygen efficiently enough to fuel everything from daydreaming to running a marathon. Breathing is such a constant background process that it feels simple, but it's one of the most elegantly engineered systems in your body. Your blood vessels stretch an astonishing distance when placed end to end. Capillaries, veins, and arteries combined total somewhere near 100,000 kilometers. That's long enough to wrap around Earth more than twice. All of that tubing fits neatly inside you because it's arranged with precision, branching like a hyper-efficient road network designed to reach every cell. Human bodies are cosmically connected in a literal sense. Most of the elements inside you, carbon, oxygen, calcium, iron, were formed inside stars long before the solar system existed. When those stars exploded, they scattered the ingredients that eventually became planets, oceans, and living beings. Your body is, in a very real chemical sense, built from ancient stardust. You dream every night, even if you never remember it. During the deepest parts of sleep, especially during REM cycles, your brain becomes highly active and starts generating scenarios, images, and narratives. You spend nearly 2 hours a night dreaming, but only a fraction of those dreams make it into memory. Your brain is selective about what it saves, and dreams often vanish seconds after waking. Your tongue has a pattern as unique as a fingerprint. The papilla, grooves, and textures on its surface form an arrangement that doesn't match anyone else's. It's unlikely you'll ever use your tongue as identification, but it would work. The tongue's uniqueness is one of those hidden quirks of biology that almost no one thinks about. Humans can survive with half a brain under extreme medical circumstances. In cases where one hemisphere must be removed, especially in early life, the remaining half rewires itself through neuroplasticity. This process allows the brain to redistribute functions and rebuild communication pathways. It's a remarkable demonstration of adaptability, showing that the brain isn't a static machine, but a constantly evolving network. Your saliva does more than keep your mouth moist. It plays a crucial role in tasting food by dissolving chemicals and carrying them to taste receptors. Without saliva, flavors become muted because the tongue can't detect the molecules that create taste. Every time you enjoy something delicious, saliva is quietly doing the work behind the scenes. You wake up slightly taller than you were the night before. While you sleep, your spine decompresses because gravity isn't pressing down on it. The discs between your vertebrae rehydrate and expand, giving you a tiny height boost, usually around a centimeter. By the end of the day, gravity compresses everything again, returning you to your regular height. Mild dehydration has a direct physical effect on your brain. When your body lacks water, brain cells shrink slightly, which can affect concentration, memory, and mood. Even a small drop in hydration level can slow down how efficiently your brain processes information. Drinking water isn't just refreshing, it literally helps your brain maintain its full size and function. Humans are exceptionally good at recognizing faces. Your brain has a dedicated area specialized for processing faces with incredible speed. This is why you can spot a familiar person instantly in a crowded place or recognize someone even from a blurry photo. Your brain treats faces as high-priority visual data and processes them differently than other objects. Your skeleton isn't as permanent as it looks. Bone tissue is constantly being broken down and rebuilt in a cycle that spans years. Every decade or so, you essentially have a new skeleton. It doesn't happen all at once, but gradually, piece by piece, your bones regenerate, reinforcing areas that need support and repairing microdamage from everyday life. Inside your cells are tiny molecular machines that never stop moving. These motor proteins carry materials along microscopic tracks, pulling nutrients, signals, and cargo to where they need to go. They're powered by energy molecules and work with mechanical precision, making them some of the most incredible structures in biology. Even though they're smaller than viruses, they work like fully functional robotic couriers. Thanks for exploring your body's hidden abilities. Every one of these facts highlights how complex and impressive you truly are, even on an ordinary day. If you enjoyed discovering these details, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stick around for more fascinating breakdowns of the world around you. The human body might seem familiar, but the more you study it, the more it behaves like a collection of surprising systems quietly performing at levels far more advanced than everyday experience suggests. Think about digestion for a moment. The stomach lining renewal cycle is one of the fastest in the body because the environment inside your stomach is far too corrosive for any tissue to withstand for long. The acid's strength isn't just a trivia fact, it's a key evolutionary tool that allows you to safely break down complex foods, kill harmful microbes, and extract nutrients efficiently. Without the rapid regeneration of its protective layer, your stomach would damage itself every time you ate a meal. Yet this cycle happens seamlessly, without pain or awareness, like a self-maintaining laboratory running 24 hours a day. The faint bioluminescence produced by the human body comes from metabolic reactions where molecules release photons as byproducts. This glow fluctuates based on energy usage, peaking in the late afternoon and dropping at night when metabolic demands shift. Even though we can't see it, this glow reflects subtle changes in cell activity throughout the day. It's a reminder that your body is constantly exchanging energy, processing fuel, and balancing chemical reactions that keep everything running smoothly. In other species, bioluminescence becomes communication or defense, but in humans, it's a quiet side effect of simply being alive. Bone strength comes from a perfect fusion of rigidity and flexibility. The mineralized matrix provides hardness, while collagen fibers create resilience that keeps bones from shattering easily. This balance is why bones can absorb shock from running, jumping, or lifting. Every force transmitted through your limbs gets distributed across tiny structural beams inside the bone tissue. Even fractures trigger a repair process that often restores strength equal to or greater than before. Your skeleton isn't just a static frame, it's a living, responsive, load-bearing architecture adapted to your needs. The gut's nervous system communicates constantly with the brain through biochemical signals. Nearly all serotonin in the body is produced in the digestive tract, influencing not only appetite and digestion, but also mood regulation. The gut monitors what you eat, how fast food moves through the intestines, and what nutrients are absorbed. When people say stress affects their stomach, there's real science behind it. Your gut responds to emotional states and sends feedback to the brain, creating a two-way conversation that shapes behavior, cravings, and well-being. The heart's pressure-generating ability comes from coordinated contractions of muscle fibers arranged in spirals. This design lets the heart twist as it pumps, increasing efficiency. Over a lifetime, your heart will beat more than 2.5 billion times unless something interrupts it. The volume of blood it handles is enormous. Tens of millions of liters flow through it across a human life. And every beat is finely tuned through electrical impulses that synchronize the chambers to keep circulation steady. It's one of the best examples of consistency in nature. Human olfaction works through a complex pattern recognition system. Each odorant binds to a combination of receptors, creating a unique signature pattern interpreted by the brain. This is why you can detect new smells even if you've never encountered them before. The brain decodes the pattern rather than needing a predefined library. Scents also connect strongly to memory because the olfactory system has direct pathways to emotional and memory-associated areas of the brain. A single smell can trigger detailed recollections instantly, bypassing logical processing and hitting directly at experience. Endurance running ability stems from structural and metabolic advantages. Humans have long tendons that store elastic energy with each step, reducing muscle effort over time. The arch of the foot functions as a spring. Even the position of the head relative to the spine helps maintain stability while running. Unlike most mammals, humans can cool through sweating rather than panting, allowing continued movement without overheating. Early hunters used this advantage to track animals that would sprint away but eventually collapse from heat and exhaustion, while humans kept jogging behind them. The brain's electrical output results from synchronized firing of neurons transmitting signals through ion channels. Even at rest, the brain consumes roughly 1/5 of the body's total energy. It never shuts down completely. Even during sleep, massive amounts of neural activity occur as the brain consolidates memories, repairs connections, and performs cleaning processes that remove waste proteins. This enormous constant workload is powered by chemical reactions that convert nutrients into electrical impulses. Skin regeneration is one of the most efficient renewal processes in the body. Keratinocytes form deep within the epidermis and gradually move upward, becoming flatter and more durable until they eventually shed from the surface. This cycle protects against environmental damage, pathogens, and moisture loss. The particles you shed accumulate everywhere, from furniture to clothing to the air around you. Indoor dust often consists largely of old skin cells, which means your environment is constantly shaped by your body's maintenance routine. The jaw's bite force comes from a combination of leverage and muscle density. The masseter attaches close to the jaw joint, maximizing mechanical advantage. Its fibers are built for powerful, repetitive contraction, allowing humans to chew tough foods ranging from cooked meats to fibrous plants. While many animals have stronger absolute bite forces, the masseter stands out for its efficiency relative to size. The tongue plays many roles: speech, swallowing, taste, but strength isn't its specialty, even though it's incredibly versatile. Human vision combines optical precision with neural speed. Light entering the eye triggers chemical changes in photoreceptors, which convert photons into electrical signals. These signals travel through layers of retinal neurons before reaching the brain, where they're processed almost instantly. The brain fills in gaps, adjusts contrast, enhances edges, and interprets motion, allowing you to navigate the world effortlessly. You don't just see with your eyes, you see with your entire brain. The liver's workload is so massive that it receives blood from two separate sources, the hepatic artery and the portal vein. It filters toxins by modifying or neutralizing them, manages glucose levels by storing or releasing sugar, synthesizes essential proteins, and produces bile that helps digest fats. Its regenerative ability is legendary. Even if a large portion is removed, the liver can regrow to full size, guided by cellular signals that control growth and structure. This resilience has made it one of the most studied organs in medical science. When your fingertips wrinkle in water, it isn't because the skin absorbs liquid and swells. Instead, it's controlled by your autonomic nervous system. When nerve signals cause blood vessels in your fingertips to constrict, the skin above them collapses slightly, forming ridges and valleys. These patterns function like tire treads on a wet road, giving you stronger friction and better handling of slippery surfaces. Studies have shown that people pick up wet objects more efficiently with wrinkled fingers than with smooth ones, confirming that this adaptation likely developed to aid survival in watery environments. Breathing seems simple, but it relies on an intricate interplay between muscles, pressure changes, and microscopic structures. Each breath begins when your diaphragm contracts, expanding the chest cavity and reducing pressure inside your lungs so air rushes in. Inside, tiny air sacs called alveoli exchange gases across a delicate membrane only 2 cells thick. Oxygen binds to hemoglobin in red blood cells, while carbon dioxide diffuses out to be exhaled. Multiplying this exchange across the millions of alveoli creates the enormous surface area comparable to a tennis court. Your lungs are essentially high-efficiency gas exchange systems designed to sustain every cell in your body. The vast length of your blood vessels is possible because of how finely they branch. Arteries divide into arterioles, which divide into capillaries, the smallest blood vessels with walls so thin that oxygen and nutrients can diffuse directly into surrounding tissues. Then they merge into venules and veins, completing the cycle. This network reaches every cell except the outermost layers of skin and the cornea of the eye. The scale of this system is difficult to comprehend. Within you is a transportation network that could encircle the planet multiple times if stretched out. Yet it functions with seamless coordination, delivering supplies and removing waste at speeds that would impress any logistical planner. The elemental composition of the human body tells a story billions of years old. Hydrogen atoms came from the earliest moments of the universe. Heavier elements like carbon, nitrogen, and oxygen were forged inside stars through nuclear fusion. When those stars exploded, they scattered the building blocks of life across space. Those elements eventually formed the dust cloud that collapsed into the sun, earth, and everything living here. Every breath you take, every heartbeat, every thought relies on atoms that once burned in the cores of ancient stars. This cosmic history connects biology to astrophysics in a way that makes every human a product of the universe's grand recycling system. Dreaming is one of the most mysterious cognitive activities. During REM sleep, your brain becomes almost as active as when you're awake. Neurons fire rapidly, the visual centers spark with activity, and the brain assembles fragments of memory, emotion, and imagination. Even though dreams feel vivid, the brain's ability to store them is limited because memory consolidation happens differently during sleep. Many dreams vanish instantly upon waking because the neural patterns that created them dissolve as consciousness returns. Scientists believe dreams help process emotions, rehearse survival scenarios, and integrate new information with old memories, making dreaming essential for mental health. The tongue's unique texture is formed by papillae, tiny bumps containing taste buds and sensory receptors. The pattern, density, and arrangement of these papillae differ from person to person, creating a biological signature. Beyond taste, the tongue assists in speech by shaping airflow and vibration into distinct sounds, making it central to communication. It also helps move food during chewing and swallowing, coordinating with muscles in the jaw and throat. Despite its strength and versatility, its uniqueness is one of its most overlooked features. Neuroplasticity, the process that allows the brain to adapt after injury or surgery, is one of the most remarkable qualities of the human nervous system. When one hemisphere is removed or damaged, the remaining hemisphere forms new pathways to take over essential functions. This adaptability is strongest in childhood, but still present throughout life. Neural networks reorganize themselves in response to experience, learning, and recovery. This ability is what enables stroke survivors to regain lost skills and individuals with brain injuries to rebuild abilities once thought permanently lost. The brain is not fixed, it is continuously remodeling itself. Saliva's chemistry plays a central role in taste. Molecules responsible for flavor must dissolve in saliva before they can reach taste receptors embedded in taste buds. Saliva also contains enzymes that begin breaking down carbohydrates, allowing your mouth to start digestion before food even reaches the stomach. Without saliva, food would taste dull and textural experiences would be uncomfortable. It even protects oral tissue by neutralizing acids and washing away debris, acting as the first line of defense for dental health. Your spine decompresses during sleep because lying horizontally reduces the constant downward force that gravity applies during the day. The intervertebral discs, which act as shock absorbers between the vertebrae, gradually flatten as you walk, sit, and stand. Overnight, these discs rehydrate and expand, slightly lengthening the spine. This subtle height fluctuation is a daily reminder of how dynamic the body is, even during rest. Dehydration affects the brain long before you feel thirsty. When water levels drop, the body prioritizes essential organs and shifts how fluids are allocated. Brain cells lose volume, which can influence electrical signaling and reduce cognitive performance. Even a small decrease in hydration can impair concentration, slow reaction time, and reduce memory accuracy. Drinking enough water restores cell volume and helps maintain the brain's efficiency. Facial recognition is so important that the brain devotes specialized structures to it. The fusiform face area, located in the temporal lobe, processes facial details such as shape, symmetry, and microexpressions. This system is why humans can recognize faces even under poor lighting or from odd angles. It's also why people sometimes perceive faces in random objects. Our brains are tuned to look for them everywhere. This specialization highlights the evolutionary importance of social interaction and communication. Bone remodeling happens through the coordinated actions of two cell types, osteoclasts, which break down old bone, and osteoblasts, which build new bone. This cycle allows bones to adapt to stress, repair microscopic damage, and maintain mineral balance. Factors such as diet, exercise, and hormones influence the rate of remodeling. By the time a decade passes, the majority of your bone tissue has been replaced through thousands of these cycles, keeping your skeleton strong and responsive. Inside your cells, motor proteins such as kinesin and dynein operate like microscopic delivery trucks. They move along protein pathways, carrying vesicles filled with nutrients, waste products, and signaling molecules. Their movements resemble walking, with two legs stepping forward in precise coordination powered by chemical energy. These molecular machines are essential for maintaining cellular health, communication, and organization. Without them, cells would be unable to distribute materials, respond to signals, or survive. The deeper you go into these systems, the more it becomes obvious that the human body is a fusion of engineering, chemistry, physics, and adaptive problem solving. Even everyday actions rely on a combination of mechanisms so fine-tuned that we take them for granted. Consider balance. Simply standing upright requires constant adjustments from muscles in your legs, back, and abdomen, aided by information from your inner ear and visual system. These corrections happen so quickly and subtly that you only notice them when something goes wrong, like losing your footing on uneven ground. Yet the coordination behind maintaining balance is comparable to running a complex stabilization algorithm. Movement itself reflects an elegant combination of leverage, muscle arrangement, and sensory feedback. Muscles don't pull with brute force alone. They cooperate through carefully aligned angles and attachments that maximize efficiency. Signals travel from your brain to your limbs within milliseconds, triggering contractions that align with gravity and momentum. When you reach for a glass, your brain calculates trajectory, distance, grip strength, and timing without conscious effort. The simplicity you experience is an illusion created by layers of computation and biological machinery. Thermoregulation, the body's ability to maintain temperature, is another example of silent excellence. When you're too hot, sweat glands release moisture that evaporates and cools the skin. Blood vessels widen to release heat. When you're cold, vessels constrict to conserve heat, and muscles generate warmth through shivering. All these reactions occur before you consciously react to temperature changes. This automatic management of heat is what keeps you functioning in environments ranging from chilly mornings to intense summer heat. Even the simple act of healing a small cut involves an orchestra of reactions. Platelets rush to the wound to form a clot, proteins weave together to create a temporary barrier, and immune cells arrive to clean out potential pathogens. Fibroblasts then begin rebuilding tissue, and new skin slowly forms to close the wound. All of this happens while you continue your daily routine, unaware of the microscopic construction project taking place under the surface. Vision, despite feeling instant and effortless, depends on a chain reaction of light, chemistry, and electricity. Photoreceptors in the retina contain molecules that change shape when struck by photons, triggering electrical responses. These signals pass through layers of neurons that extract edges, movement, and contrast before sending the information to the brain. The brain then interprets these patterns as objects, colors, and depth. You're not just receiving raw data, you're seeing a version of the world constructed by your brain in real time. And speaking of perception, touch is equally sophisticated. Different receptors detect pressure, vibration, temperature, and pain. Some respond to light brushing, others only activate when pressure reaches a certain threshold. These signals travel through nerve fibers at different speeds, allowing rapid reaction to dangerous stimuli and slower interpretation of subtle sensations. This multi-layered system protects you, guides your actions, and enhances your interaction with the environment. Even your hair has a functional story behind it. While it may seem purely cosmetic, hair contributes to temperature regulation, sensory perception, and protection. Tiny muscles attached to each hair follicle can contract, causing goosebumps, which originally helped trap heat in colder climates. Though less effective in modern humans compared to fur-covered animals, the mechanism still works as a leftover evolutionary tool. The complexity extends to your immune system as well. Immune cells patrol the body searching for invaders, analyzing proteins on cell surfaces to distinguish friend from foe. When they encounter a threat, they communicate using chemical signals that rally reinforcements. White blood cells eliminate harmful microbes, while other cells create antibodies to prevent future infections. This system learns and remembers, forming a biological library of threats you've encountered throughout life. Digestion is another marvel. It begins with enzymes in saliva breaking down carbohydrates. The stomach continues the process with acid and digestive enzymes, while the small intestine absorbs nutrients through structures called villi and microvilli, tiny projections that dramatically increase surface area. Fats, proteins, and carbohydrates are broken into components the body can use, and the large intestine extracts water, while beneficial bacteria assist with fermentation and vitamin production. This journey transforms food into the energy and building blocks needed for survival and growth. The cardiovascular system never stops adapting. Blood flow increases to muscles during exercise, decreases to non-essential rest areas when resting, and responds instantly to stress or excitement. Baroreceptors, pressure sensors in your arteries, monitor blood pressure and signal the brain to adjust heart rate and vessel width. This constant fine-tuning ensures that oxygen and nutrients reach every part of the body exactly when needed. Hormones play a central role in coordinating long-range communication within the body. Produced in glands like the thyroid, pancreas, and adrenal glands, hormones travel through the bloodstream and influence everything from metabolism to mood. They act as chemical messengers that regulate hunger, growth, alertness, reproduction, and even sleep cycles. While nerve impulses handle fast, targeted responses, hormones shape slow and wide-reaching changes that keep your internal environment stable. The musculoskeletal system is more than bones and muscles. It's an integrated biomechanical framework. Tendons transmit muscle force to bones, ligaments stabilize joints, and cartilage cushions impacts. This collaboration enables a range of movements, from delicate finger motions to explosive jumps. Every step you take is the result of dozens of muscles activating in timed sequences, guided by sensory feedback that adjusts force and direction on the fly. Even blood itself is extraordinary. Red blood cells, shaped like flexible discs, squeeze through capillaries narrower than their diameter. Hemoglobin inside them binds oxygen like a molecular delivery service, releasing it where it's most needed. White blood cells roam like cellular guardians, and platelets initiate repair when damage occurs. Plasma serves as the fluid highway, carrying nutrients, hormones, electrolytes, and waste products. All these components circulate endlessly, maintaining balance in ways you rarely notice. The nervous system ties all of these processes together with astonishing speed. Sensory neurons detect changes in the environment, interneurons interpret them, and motor neurons issue commands. Signals travel along nerves through electrical impulses that jump across gaps using chemical messengers. This combination of electricity and chemistry enables rapid and flexible communication. Reflexes bypass the brain entirely, allowing you to respond to danger almost instantly, while conscious decisions involve higher processing centers that evaluate outcomes and integrate memory. The endocrine and nervous systems work together to create a balance between fast reactions and long-term regulation. For example, during a stressful moment, your adrenal glands release hormones that increase heart rate, sharpen attention, and mobilize energy reserves. Once the moment passes, other hormones help bring your body back to equilibrium. This dynamic stability is essential for survival in a world where conditions change from moment to moment. Consider metabolism, the vast network of chemical reactions powering life. Every cell contains thousands of enzymes, proteins that accelerate reactions with incredible precision. They break down nutrients, build new molecules, and manage energy conversion. Adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, serves as the main energy currency. Cells constantly produce and consume ATP, often recycling the entire supply within minutes. Even at rest, your body produces enough heat to keep your internal temperature stable, reflecting the continuous activity of billions of microscopic engines working behind the scenes. On an even smaller scale, DNA stores your genetic blueprint in sequences of nucleotides. Each cell contains meters of DNA tightly packed into structures called chromosomes. When cells divide, DNA replicates through mechanisms that proofread and correct most errors. Although mutations occur, the majority are harmless, and some drive evolution by introducing new variations. The fact that your body maintains such an enormous and delicate information system across trillions of cells highlights the precision of biological design. Your senses extend beyond the classic five. Proprioception allows you to sense the position of your limbs even with your eyes closed. Thermoreception detects heat and cold independently from touch. Nociception identifies potential harm by signaling pain. Vestibular receptors inside your inner ear detect rotation and acceleration, letting you walk, run, or turn your head without losing balance. These sensory systems constantly update the brain about your body's orientation and condition, contributing to seamless movement. Speech is another remarkable human ability. It requires coordination between the lungs, vocal cords, tongue, lips, and facial muscles. Air passing through the vocal cords causes them to vibrate, producing sound. The shape of your mouth and movements of your tongue modulate that sound into distinct phonemes. The brain's language centers interpret and generate speech through networks that connect symbols, meaning, and memory. This intricate collaboration enables communication across cultures and allows ideas to transfer between minds. Your digestive system doesn't just break down food, it also hosts trillions of microbes collectively known as the microbiome. These bacteria, viruses, and fungi contribute to digestion, synthesize vitamins, and influence immune function. Many of them produce compounds that affect mood and inflammation. The balance of these organisms shapes everything from energy levels to mental clarity. Though tiny, the microbiome acts like a hidden organ with significant influence on health. The circulatory system works closely with the respiratory system. When you exercise, your muscles demand more oxygen and your heart increases output accordingly. Blood vessels dilate to improve flow, and your breathing rate increases to bring in more oxygen and release more carbon dioxide. This coordinated response ensures that your tissues receive the fuel they need to sustain effort. It's a dynamic example of how multiple systems operate as one to support complex activity. The kidneys filter blood with extraordinary efficiency. They regulate fluid balance, remove waste, maintain electrolyte levels, and control blood pressure. Tiny structures called nephrons perform this filtration using pressure gradients and selective reabsorption. In a single day, your kidneys filter around 150 liters of blood plasma, extracting waste and returning valuable substances to the bloodstream. They also produce hormones that influence red blood cell production and calcium metabolism. The skin isn't just a barrier, it's an active organ involved in temperature regulation, sensation, immunity, and hydration. It contains sweat glands, oil glands, hair follicles, and nerve endings. Melanin, produced by specialized cells, protects against ultraviolet radiation by absorbing harmful wavelengths. The skin constantly repairs itself, replacing damaged cells and maintaining its protective role despite constant exposure to the environment. Meanwhile, the lymphatic system acts as the body's drainage and defense network. It transports excess fluid from tissues back into the bloodstream and filters it through lymph nodes populated with immune cells. These cells detect and respond to pathogens, forming a critical component of the immune response. Without the lymphatic system, swelling, infection, and fluid imbalance would occur rapidly. The musculoskeletal system also adapts to stress through hypertrophy, where muscles grow in response to resistance. When muscle fibers experience micro-tears during exercise, the body repairs them stronger than before. This process depends on protein synthesis, hormone levels, nutrition, and rest. Strength gains come not just from muscle size, but also from improved neural coordination. Your brain learns to activate muscle fibers more efficiently over time. Finally, the integration of all body systems demonstrates how life depends on cooperation. No organ works alone. The heart relies on the lungs, the brain relies on circulation, muscles rely on bones, and the immune system relies on communication between countless cells. This interdependence creates resilience. When one system changes, others adjust to maintain balance. Your body is not a collection of parts. It is a synchronized whole, operating with complexity that surpasses even the most advanced machines humans have created. The more you explore the systems within your body, the clearer it becomes that life depends on constant adaptation. Every second, millions of cells are created, destroyed, or transformed. Your immune system identifies threats you will never see. Your digestive tract converts food into energy with biochemical precision, and your brain processes an avalanche of sensory information to produce coherent thoughts, memories, and actions. This continuous balancing act is what allows you to function effortlessly, even though the underlying processes are incredibly complex. Cellular communication is another example of fine-tuned coordination. Cells send chemical signals that influence growth, repair, inflammation, and metabolism. Hormones, neurotransmitters, and cytokines act like messages that travel between tissues, adjusting their activity. When cells detect stress, they release molecules that trigger protective mechanisms. When conditions improve, those signals fade, allowing the body to return to equilibrium. This sophisticated network of communication resembles a city where millions of citizens exchange information simultaneously to keep everything running smoothly. The repair mechanisms inside your cells are equally impressive. DNA damage from radiation, chemicals, and normal metabolic activity occurs constantly. Specialized enzymes patrol your DNA, identifying errors and fixing them before they become harmful. When damage is too severe, cells can trigger programmed self-destruction to prevent the spread of potential problems. This built-in quality control ensures that your genetic information remains stable across trillions of replications. Your circulatory system also demonstrates extraordinary engineering. Arteries withstand high pressure as they deliver blood from the heart to the organs, while veins contain valves that prevent backflow and assist in returning blood to the heart even against gravity. Capillaries form a transition point where oxygen and nutrients exit the bloodstream and waste products enter. This exchange happens seamlessly, enabling each cell to receive exactly what it needs at the right time. Even the way the body manages energy is a coordinated masterpiece. Glucose levels rise after meals, and hormones like insulin help cells absorb and store this energy. When glucose levels fall, other hormones release stored energy to maintain balance. Muscles store glycogen for bursts of activity, while fat tissue serves as long-term energy storage. This system ensures survival in periods of abundance and scarcity alike. The lungs also play a role beyond simple gas exchange. They filter small blood clots, prevent harmful substances from reaching other organs, and even produce certain hormones that regulate blood pressure. When breathing increases during exercise, the lungs expand their capacity to allow more oxygen to enter and carbon dioxide to leave. Their ability to adapt quickly keeps the body functioning smoothly regardless of changing demands. The brain's memory system is a layering of different storage strategies. Short-term memory allows you to hold a phone number for a few seconds, while long-term memory stores childhood experiences for decades. The hippocampus helps convert short-term experiences into lasting memories, while networks throughout the cortex store information in distributed patterns. Memory is not a recording, it is a reconstruction built from sensory details, emotion, and meaning. This flexibility allows you to adapt and learn throughout life. The reproductive system is another area where biology shows its complexity. Hormones regulate cycles, trigger development, and control fertility. Cells involved in reproduction undergo specialized processes like meiosis, which ensures genetic diversity. The collaboration between endocrine signals, cellular development, and anatomical structures creates the possibility for new life, demonstrating one of the most intricate and coordinated systems within the body. Your ability to experience emotion arises from interactions between the brain, hormones, and sensory input. When you feel joy, fear, or curiosity, multiple regions of the brain activate simultaneously. Chemical messengers modulate these experiences, shaping how intensely you feel them and how you react. Emotional responses influence decision-making, memory formation, and social behavior. Rather than being separate from biology, emotions are deeply rooted in physical processes. The skeletal system also houses bone marrow, which produces billions of new blood cells every day. Red blood cells carry oxygen, white blood cells defend against infection, and platelets help stop bleeding. The marrow adjusts production based on demand, for example, producing more red blood cells at high altitudes where oxygen is scarce. This adaptive response ensures that the body has the resources it needs to survive in different environments. The pancreas plays a central role in digestion and metabolism. It secretes enzymes that break down fats, proteins, and carbohydrates in the small intestine. It also produces hormones that regulate blood sugar levels. When functioning properly, the pancreas maintains a delicate balance that keeps your energy levels stable. Even slight disruptions in pancreatic activity can create wide-reaching effects, showing how interconnected these systems are. The structure of your joints reflects millions of years of biomechanical refinement. Ball and socket joints allow rotational movement, hinge joints provide simple bending, and pivot joints facilitate turning. Cartilage cushions these joints, reducing friction and absorbing shock. Synovial fluid lubricates the joint surfaces, enabling smooth motion. This system allows everything from typing to running to holding objects with precision. As you age, your body continues adapting. Bone density changes, muscle mass shifts, metabolism slows, and hormone levels fluctuate. Yet your body maintains extraordinary resilience. It repairs tissue, fights illness, and responds to environmental challenges even when resources are limited. Adaptation is constant, demonstrating a remarkable ability to preserve function across decades of life. Even the process of aging itself is a coordinated biological phenomenon. Cells gradually accumulate damage from metabolic activity, environmental exposure, and replication errors. Telomeres, the protective caps on chromosome ends, shorten over time, limiting how many times a cell can divide. Hormone levels shift, influencing metabolism, mood, and muscle maintenance. Yet, despite these changes, the body continues adapting, rerouting energy, reinforcing vital systems, and prioritizing survival. Aging is not a collapse, it is a strategic adjustment that allows the body to function as efficiently as possible with the resources available. Your sense of taste integrates multiple sensory systems. Taste buds detect basic flavors like sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. But aroma contributes to the majority of what you perceive as flavor, meaning taste relies heavily on your sense of smell. Texture, detected by touch receptors in the mouth, temperature, sensed by thermoreceptors, and even sound, such as the crunch of food, shape the experience of eating. This multi-sensory integration explains why a stuffy nose dulls flavor and why certain textures are satisfying regardless of taste. Your ability to coordinate movement comes from the cerebellum, a brain structure responsible for timing, balance, and precision. It receives constant updates from the senses and adjusts muscle activity accordingly. Whether you're catching a ball, typing on a keyboard, or dancing, the cerebellum ensures smooth execution. Damage to this region affects coordination dramatically, demonstrating its essential role in nearly all physical activity. Another extraordinary system is thermosensation. Cold and heat receptors detect temperature changes independently of pain receptors. Some respond to moderate warmth, others to sudden drops in temperature. The brain integrates these signals to guide behavioral responses, such as seeking shade or putting on extra clothing. This temperature awareness maintains homeostasis while also preventing injury from extreme conditions. Your hearing system translates vibrations into meaningful information. Sound waves enter the ear canal, causing the eardrum to vibrate. Tiny bones in the middle ear amplify these vibrations and transmit them to the cochlea, a fluid-filled structure lined with sensitive hair cells. These hair cells convert mechanical movement into electrical impulses that travel to the brain. The auditory cortex interprets frequency, rhythm, and intensity, allowing you to appreciate music, understand speech, and navigate your surroundings through sound. The complexity of the immune system is so vast that scientists continually uncover new layers. It includes innate defenses that act immediately and adaptive defenses that learn from previous threats. T cells identify and destroy infected cells, B cells create antibodies, and macrophages engulf harmful organisms. The immune system's memory enables faster, stronger responses to repeated infections. This intricate defense network operates continuously, protecting you from countless microbes that would otherwise cause illness. Vision also depends on saccades, rapid eye movements that shift your focus multiple times per second. These micro-adjustments allow your brain to combine snapshots into a coherent, stable picture of the world. Even when your eyes appear still, they're moving slightly to prevent sensory receptors from adapting and fading. This constant motion ensures high-quality vision and prevents blurring or blind spots. Your hormonal system includes glands such as the thyroid, which regulates metabolism, and the adrenal glands, which manage stress responses. Hormones travel through the bloodstream to influence almost every organ. They modulate appetite, energy levels, mood, and immune responses. Even small fluctuations can create noticeable changes in how you feel and function. The precision required to maintain hormonal balance demonstrates the body's impressive regulatory capacity. The digestive tract also communicates with the brain through hunger and satiety hormones. Ghrelin signals when you need food, while leptin signals when you've had enough. This communication helps maintain energy balance, though it can be affected by stress, sleep, and dietary patterns. The gut and brain form an interconnected axis that influences not only digestion, but also behavior, emotion, and decision-making. The lungs rely on surfactant, a substance that reduces surface tension inside the alveoli. Without surfactant, the tiny air sacs would collapse, making breathing difficult. This chemical adaptation allows the lungs to expand and contract smoothly billions of times over a lifetime. Every breath is supported by a delicate interplay of physics and biology that works flawlessly most of the time. The cardiovascular system includes specialized electrical pathways that coordinate heartbeats. These pathways ensure that the atria contract first, the ventricles, creating an efficient pumping sequence. Disturbances in this rhythm can lead to irregular heartbeats, demonstrating how crucial timing is to circulation. Despite its sensitivity, the heart's electrical system is robust, capable of adjusting to physical demands within seconds. The body also has protective reflexes like blinking, coughing, sneezing, and withdrawing from painful stimuli. These reflexes occur without conscious thought, acting as immediate defensive responses to potential threats. They protect delicate tissues, clear irritants, and prevent injury. Reflex arcs bypass the brain to prioritize speed, illustrating how the nervous system balances efficiency with survival. When you sleep, your body performs essential maintenance tasks. Muscle tissue repairs itself, the brain clears metabolic waste, and hormone levels adjust. Deep sleep supports physical recovery, while REM sleep supports cognitive functions, such as memory consolidation and creativity. Sleep is not passive. It is an active state that prepares the body for another day of learning, movement, and adaptation. Sleep also influences emotional balance. During certain phases, the brain reprocesses memories, separating important information from irrelevant details. Emotional experiences are reevaluated, which is why problems sometimes feel different after a good night's rest. The brain reinforces useful neural pathways and weakens those that are no longer needed. This nightly reorganization helps maintain mental clarity, stability, and resilience. Your skeletal muscles contain different fiber types adapted for specific roles. Slow twitch fibers support endurance activities by using oxygen efficiently, while fast twitch fibers generate quick bursts of power. Training can shift the characteristics of these fibers slightly, improving either endurance or strength depending on the activity. This adaptability enables athletes and everyday individuals alike to improve performance based on consistent practice. The heart structure includes valves that open and close with each beat, ensuring blood flows in the correct direction. These valves withstand constant mechanical stress and still function reliably for decades. When you exercise, the heart increases output by boosting both heart rate and stroke volume, delivering more oxygen to muscles. This dynamic range, from resting to intense activity, demonstrates the heart's extraordinary flexibility. The liver contributes to detoxification not by simply removing harmful substances, but by chemically modifying them to make them easier for the kidneys or intestines to eliminate. It also stores energy as glycogen, produces important proteins like albumin, and regulates cholesterol levels. Even when subjected to significant stress, the liver often recovers due to its impressive regenerative capacity. Your skin contains specialized immune cells that detect threats directly at the body's surface. These cells identify intruders and alert the broader immune system. The skin's acidity, beneficial microbes, and tightly packed cells create layers of defense that block pathogens. This barrier is constantly renewed, protecting you even as it encounters sunlight, friction, temperature changes, and countless environmental factors. The kidneys use filtration and selective reabsorption to maintain the body's internal balance. They regulate pH by excreting hydrogen ions, balance electrolytes like sodium and potassium, and produce hormones that influence blood pressure. Their ability to adjust filtration rates allows the body to respond rapidly to hydration changes. Despite their small size, the kidneys perform functions critical to maintaining homeostasis. Your blood contains clotting factors that activate when tissue is damaged. These proteins form a mesh that stabilizes the platelet plug created during clotting. Once the wound heals, other enzymes break down the clot to restore normal blood flow. This tightly controlled process prevents excessive bleeding while avoiding unnecessary clot formation. The nervous system includes both voluntary and involuntary components. Voluntary control governs actions like speaking and walking, while involuntary control manages heartbeat, digestion, and respiratory rate. The autonomic nervous system splits into the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches, which balance stress responses and relaxation. This dual system ensures that the body can react quickly to threats while also promoting recovery and calm. The respiratory system also helps regulate blood pH. When carbon dioxide levels rise, breathing rate increases to expel it. This relationship between breathing and pH underscores how interconnected bodily systems are. Even slight changes in respiration can affect chemical balance, demonstrating the sensitivity of physiological regulation. Temperature regulation involves brown adipose tissue, a type of fat specialized for heat generation. Unlike white fat, which stores energy, brown fat burns calories to produce heat, especially in cold environments. This thermogenic capability is more prominent in infants but remains active in adults. Brown fat contributes to warmth and energy expenditure, highlighting another layer of metabolic complexity. Your body can detect orientation using the vestibular system in the inner ear. Fluid-filled canals and tiny crystals inside the ear shift with movement, sending signals that inform the brain about position and acceleration. This system helps maintain balance and allows coordinated movement even in the dark. Disruptions in the vestibular system can cause dizziness, showing how essential it is to spatial awareness. The endocrine system includes feedback loops that adjust hormone production. For example, the thyroid gland releases hormones that regulate metabolism, and the brain monitors hormone levels to increase or decrease production as needed. These loops maintain stability despite changing conditions. Without feedback mechanisms, hormone levels would fluctuate unpredictably, leading to imbalances that affect energy, mood, and overall health. Pain perception varies depending on context and emotional state. The brain can amplify or dampen pain signals through descending pathways. This modulation allows you to ignore minor discomfort during emergencies or feel heightened sensitivity during illness. Pain is not just a physical sensation, it is a complex experience shaped by biological and psychological factors. Even the process of forming habits reflects biological adaptation. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition, making actions more automatic over time. This efficiency frees mental resources for new tasks while reinforcing useful behaviors. Breaking habits requires creating new pathways and reducing reinforcement of old ones, demonstrating the brain's remarkable capacity for change. Learning itself reshapes the brain. When you acquire a new skill, neurons strengthen their connections, forming more efficient pathways. Repetition reinforces these circuits, making the skill increasingly automatic. Whether you're learning a language, practicing an instrument, or solving puzzles, the brain adapts by creating new wiring that reflects your experiences. This capacity for lifelong learning allows humans to grow continuously, regardless of age. Memory retrieval also depends on context. The brain stores pieces of a memory in different regions, such as sensory areas, emotional centers, and the hippocampus. When you recall something, the brain reconstructs the memory from these fragments. This explains why memories can feel vivid but still be imperfect. The process is flexible, allowing you to integrate new insights and reinterpret past events. Your stomach includes a nervous system component that coordinates digestion through local reflexes. Even if the main brain is unaware, the gastrointestinal system can regulate muscular contractions, enzyme release, and nutrient absorption. This autonomous control ensures that digestion proceeds smoothly regardless of external distractions. The digestive tract is a prime example of how distributed intelligence exists throughout the body. Muscle coordination improves with practice through a process called motor learning. The nervous system refines how it activates muscle fibers, adjusts timing, and reduces unnecessary movement. Over time, this optimization increases efficiency and improves performance. Athletes, musicians, and craftsmen rely heavily on motor learning to master precise skills. The brain and body collaborate to transform repetitive effort into fluid expertise. Blood pressure adjusts based on posture. Standing up causes blood to pool in the legs due to gravity, but baroreceptors detect the change and signal the heart to increase output. Blood vessels constrict to maintain adequate pressure in the brain. Without this rapid adjustment, dizziness would occur far more often. The body's ability to counteract gravitational forces demonstrates its sensitivity to internal changes. The immune system communicates using signaling proteins that coordinate everything from inflammation to antibody production. When an infection occurs, the body increases temperature to slow microbial growth and enhance immune function. Fever is not simply a symptom, it is a strategic defense mechanism. The immune system also identifies and destroys damaged or abnormal cells, providing surveillance that helps prevent disease. Human touch plays a vital role in development and emotional well-being. Specific nerve fibers respond to gentle, slow strokes, sending signals associated with comfort and social bonding. Touch can lower stress hormones, slow heart rate, and increase feelings of safety. This physiological response underscores how deeply connected social interaction is to biology. Your body's metabolism adapts to energy availability. During fasting, the body shifts from glucose to fat stores for fuel, and later may produce ketone bodies that supply energy to the brain. This metabolic flexibility evolved to help humans survive periods without food. The ability to switch energy sources efficiently is a hallmark of human resilience. The nose includes receptors that detect not only odors but also irritants. These receptors trigger responses such as sneezing, tear production, or avoidance behavior. Smell also interacts with memory centers, explaining why certain scents can evoke emotional reactions or vivid recollections instantly. This strong connection between scent and memory highlights how sensory input shapes personal experience. Your sense of balance integrates input from vision, touch, and the vestibular system. When these signals conflict, such as when reading in a moving vehicle, motion sickness can occur. The brain interprets the mismatch as a potential threat, triggering nausea as a protective reaction. This interplay of sensory signals shows how much coordination is required for stable perception. Skin elasticity comes from collagen and elastin fibers layered within the dermis. These proteins allow the skin to stretch and return to shape. Over time, production of these fibers slows, leading to reduced elasticity. Despite this, the skin remains remarkably durable, protecting against mechanical stress, temperature changes, and microbial entry throughout life. The brain's reward system influences motivation through neurotransmitters like dopamine. When something positive happens, dopamine reinforces behaviors associated with that experience. This mechanism encourages learning and survival-oriented actions. However, it also explains why certain habits can become difficult to break. The dopamine reward pathway strengthens them over time. Chemical messengers like serotonin regulate mood, appetite, and sleep. Serotonin levels depend on both genetic factors and environmental influences such as diet, light exposure, and stress. The widespread reach of serotonin receptors illustrates how chemical balance shapes emotional health, cognition, and physiological stability. The coordination between breathing and speaking is another subtle marvel of the human body. Speech depends on controlled airflow from the lungs, precise vibrations of the vocal cords, and rapid shaping of sound by the tongue and lips. The brain times these actions with such accuracy that you produce dozens of distinct sounds per second when speaking fluently. Even small disruptions in breath control can affect articulation, showing how closely tied these systems are. Bone marrow does far more than produce blood cells. It adjusts production based on oxygen levels, infection, and hormonal signals. For instance, at high altitudes, the body responds to reduced oxygen by producing more red blood cells. During infection, white blood cell production increases. This dynamic responsiveness ensures that the bloodstream carries the right components for survival under changing conditions. The autonomic nervous system manages countless processes without conscious input. Heart rate, digestion, sweating, and pupil dilation are all controlled through sympathetic and parasympathetic pathways. When the body senses danger, the sympathetic system increases alertness and energy availability. After the threat passes, the parasympathetic system restores calm. This constant push and pull maintains balance in real time. Hormonal rhythms align many bodily functions with the day-night cycle. Cortisol levels rise in the morning to increase alertness, while melatonin rises at night to promote sleep. These rhythms synchronize with external cues like light exposure. Disruptions in this cycle, such as shift work or long travel, can affect mood, appetite, and cognitive function. The body's internal clock keeps countless processes running smoothly in harmony with the environment. The gastrointestinal system contains smooth muscle layers that contract rhythmically to move food along. These waves, called peristalsis, occur automatically. Even when upside down, peristalsis can move food toward the stomach, proving that gravity has little influence on digestion. This internal conveyor system is essential for nutrient absorption and waste elimination. The cartilage in your joints lacks blood vessels, meaning it relies on diffusion for nutrient supply. Movement helps this process by compressing and releasing the cartilage, encouraging fluid exchange. Without regular movement, cartilage can weaken, leading to stiffness. This explains why moderate physical activity supports joint health and mobility. Electrolytes like sodium, potassium, and calcium play crucial roles in nerve signaling and muscle contraction. Even slight imbalances can affect heart rhythm, cognition, or physical performance. The kidneys and endocrine system work together to maintain proper electrolyte levels, adjusting excretion and reabsorption as needed. This tight regulation highlights how delicate the body's chemical balance is. The brain constantly filters sensory information. At any moment, far more data reaches your senses than you consciously perceive. The brain selects what is most relevant and ignores the rest. This filtering prevents overload and allows focused attention. For example, you may stop noticing background noise until something unusual occurs. This selective awareness is essential for navigating complex environments. When you learn new movements, the brain forms motor maps that link intention to action. These maps evolve with practice, enabling smoother and more accurate motion. Even simple tasks like tying shoelaces or writing rely on motor maps stored in the brain. As these pathways strengthen, movements become automatic, requiring less cognitive effort. Blood flow patterns change drastically depending on activity. During rest, most blood circulates through organs like the liver and kidneys. During intense activity, circulation shifts toward skeletal muscles. This redistribution reflects the body's ability to prioritize immediate needs. The cardiovascular system reacts within seconds, increasing heart rate and adjusting vessel diameter to optimize oxygen delivery. Each person's immune system is shaped by their experiences. Exposure to microbes, vaccinations, and environmental factors all contribute to immune memory. This personalized history creates variations in immune strength and response patterns. Even identical twins develop differences in their immune systems over time, demonstrating how adaptive and experience-driven immunity is. The skin contains sensory receptors that detect vibration at different frequencies. Some receptors respond to rapid changes, while others detect slow, sustained pressure. This diversity allows the body to perceive texture, motion, and subtle environmental cues. Touch information travels quickly to the brain, enabling precise feedback for movement and interaction. Your hair and nails are composed primarily of keratin, a durable protein. Growth rates vary by location and individual. Nails grow.
Hair grows in cycles that include growth, rest, and shedding phases. These cycles ensure that hair and nails renew over time, maintaining protective and functional roles.
Your body maintains hydration through a balance of intake, excretion, and cellular absorption. When water levels drop, sensors in the brain trigger thirst to encourage drinking. At the same time, the kidneys reduce water loss by concentrating urine. Even mild dehydration can influence cognitive performance, mood, and physical endurance. This constant monitoring ensures that cells remain in an optimal environment for chemical reactions to occur. Taste perception adapts depending on how often you consume certain flavors. Repeated exposure to bitter foods can make them seem milder, while reducing sugar intake can make even moderately sweet foods taste more intense. These shifts occur because taste receptors adjust their sensitivity. This ability to recalibrate helps maintain balance in dietary choices and supports adaptation to changing food environments. The circulation of lymph fluid relies on movement and muscle contraction, as the lymphatic system lacks a central pump like the heart. Physical activity encourages lymph flow, helping remove waste products and support immune function. When lymphatic flow slows, swelling or fatigue can result. This system demonstrates how intertwined physical movement is with internal health. The respiratory system not only supplies oxygen, but also filters, humidifies, and warms incoming air. Tiny hairs in the nasal passages trap debris, while mucus captures smaller particles. Cilia move the mucus toward the throat so it can be swallowed and neutralized in the stomach. This multi-layered defense system protects delicate lung tissue from environmental contaminants. The pancreas releases digestive enzymes only when needed, preventing self-digestion. These enzymes break down large molecules into smaller components that the intestines can absorb. The pancreas also regulates blood sugar through hormones like insulin and glucagon. This dual role highlights the pancreas's importance in maintaining both energy balance and digestive efficiency. The cardiovascular system contains specialized receptors that monitor oxygen levels, carbon dioxide levels, and pH. These receptors communicate with the brainstem to adjust breathing rate and heart function. When oxygen drops or carbon dioxide rises, the body increases ventilation to compensate. This feedback loop ensures stable internal conditions despite fluctuations in activity or environment. The pancreas releases digestive enzymes only when needed, preventing self-digestion.
These enzymes break down large molecules into smaller components that the intestines can absorb. The pancreas also regulates blood sugar through hormones like insulin and glucagon. This dual role highlights the pancreas's importance in maintaining both energy balance and digestive efficiency. The cardiovascular system contains specialized receptors that monitor oxygen levels, carbon dioxide levels, and pH. These receptors communicate with the brainstem to adjust breathing rate and heart function. When oxygen drops or carbon dioxide rises, the body increases ventilation to compensate. This feedback loop ensures stable internal conditions despite fluctuations in activity or environment. Your muscles store energy in the form of creatine phosphate, which supports short bursts of activity. This quick energy system activates during sprinting or lifting heavy objects. Afterward, other metabolic pathways replenish these stores. The coordination among different energy systems enables a wide range of physical activities, from endurance running to explosive jumps. The brain's ability to recognize patterns underlies many aspects of perception. Whether interpreting speech, identifying objects, or predicting movement, the brain uses past experience to make sense of incoming information. This pattern recognition enables rapid decision-making and helps you navigate complex environments with minimal conscious effort. Body temperature is regulated through a combination of sweating, shivering, blood flow adjustments, and hormonal signals. When overheated, blood vessels near the skin dilate to release heat. When cold, they constrict to conserve warmth. Thyroid hormones influence overall metabolic heat production. These systems work together to maintain a stable internal temperature even in fluctuating weather conditions. The senses of smell and taste decline gradually with age as receptors become less sensitive. Despite this, the brain compensates by relying more on texture, temperature, and memory associations. This adaptive capacity allows older individuals to continue enjoying food even as sensory acuity changes. Bone remodeling increases in response to weight-bearing exercise. Activities like walking, running, and strength training stimulate osteoblasts to build new bone tissue. This adaptive process increases bone density and reduces the risk of fractures. Conversely, lack of movement can weaken bones over time, highlighting the importance of regular physical activity. Hormonal changes influence sleep patterns. Melatonin production decreases with age, leading to lighter sleep and earlier waking times. Stress hormones can disrupt sleep cycles, while consistent routines and light exposure can reinforce healthy rhythms. This interplay shows how sensitive sleep is to biochemical signals. Vision relies on rods and cones, two types of photoreceptor cells. Rods detect low light and motion, while cones detect color and detail. The distribution of these cells shapes how you perceive the world. For example, peripheral vision excels at detecting movement due to high rod density, while central vision provides sharp detail thanks to a high concentration of cones. The adaptivity of the respiratory system is evident during exercise. As muscles demand more oxygen, breathing becomes deeper and more frequent. The diaphragm and intercostal muscles work harder to expand the ribcage, increasing lung volume. The body coordinates this response automatically, ensuring that oxygen reaches working muscles while carbon dioxide is removed efficiently. This seamless adjustment highlights how physical performance relies on finely tuned respiratory control. Sensory adaptation allows the body to ignore constant, unchanging stimuli, so it can focus on important information. For example, you stop noticing the feeling of clothing on your skin or a persistent background noise. Receptors reduce their activity when exposed to steady input, preventing sensory overload. This mechanism frees mental resources for detecting new or meaningful changes in the environment. The liver stores essential vitamins such as A, D, E, K, and B12, releasing them when needed. It also converts excess glucose into glycogen for storage and later use. These energy management strategies support both immediate and long-term metabolic needs. The liver's ability to switch between processing nutrients, storing energy, and detoxifying the bloodstream demonstrates its central role in maintaining internal balance. The body also contains protective barriers beyond the skin. The blood-brain barrier prevents harmful substances from entering the brain, while allowing nutrients and essential molecules to pass through. This selective filtration keeps the brain's environment stable and protects neural tissue from toxins and pathogens. It reflects how seriously the body prioritizes brain health. Fingernails grow from a base called the nail matrix, where new cells form and harden as they move outward. Growth rates vary depending on factors like age, nutrition, and temperature. Fingernails typically grow faster than toenails, partly due to increased blood flow and frequent use of the hands. This steady renewal of keratinized tissue ensures ongoing protection and dexterity. Body posture influences how muscles and joints distribute weight. Poor posture can lead to uneven strain, causing discomfort or long-term issues. The body adapts to habitual positions by strengthening certain muscles while weakening others. Regular movement and balanced posture help maintain alignment, reducing the likelihood of injury. This interaction between structure and habit shows how the body reflects daily patterns. Tears serve multiple functions beyond emotional expression. Basal tears keep the eyes lubricated, reflex tears wash away irritants, and emotional tears contain stress-related hormones. Tears maintain eye health by creating a protective film, providing nutrients, and reducing friction. The complexity of tear production reveals how even simple actions can have intricate biological foundations. The endocrine system regulates hunger through hormones released in response to stomach stretch, nutrient levels, and glucose availability. These signals travel to the hypothalamus, which integrates the information and adjusts appetite accordingly. Stress, sleep, and emotional state can influence these signals, demonstrating how interconnected bodily systems affect eating behavior. When the body experiences inflammation, immune cells release chemicals that increase blood flow and attract additional defense cells. While inflammation can cause redness or discomfort, it is a crucial part of healing. Inflammation helps isolate damaged tissue, eliminate harmful microbes, and initiate repair. The challenge lies in balancing this response so that it resolves once the threat is gone. Your ability to regulate movement depends on proprioceptive feedback, which informs the brain about joint angles, muscle tension, and limb position. This feedback allows you to walk without looking at your feet or adjust grip strength based on an object's weight. Proprioception works continuously, ensuring that movements remain coordinated and efficient. The tongue's taste receptors regenerate regularly, contributing to shifts in taste sensitivity. Each taste bud contains multiple receptor cells that detect different chemical compounds. These cells have a limited lifespan and are replaced frequently. This renewal process ensures that taste perception remains accurate and responsive to dietary changes. Hair follicles cycle through phases of growth, rest, and shedding. Factors like hormones, nutrition, and stress influence the length of each phase. Hair growth is not synchronized across follicles, which is why shedding appears gradually rather than occurring all at once. This distributed cycle maintains consistent hair coverage and allows adaptation to environmental and internal conditions. The brain consumes about 20% of the body's energy, despite weighing only a small fraction of total body mass. This high energy demand supports processes such as memory, attention, decision-making, and sensory motor control. The brain's energy usage reflects the complexity of neural activity and the importance of maintaining stable fuel supplies for cognitive performance. The cardiovascular system reacts instantly to emotional changes. When you feel excitement, anxiety, or anticipation, your sympathetic nervous system releases signals that increase heart rate and blood pressure. This response prepares the body for quick action, even if no physical movement occurs. Emotional states can influence circulation, breathing, and hormone release within seconds, demonstrating the deep connection between mind and body. Your metabolism adjusts based on muscle mass, activity levels, and hormonal balance. Muscles burn more calories than fat even at rest, which is why strength training can increase metabolic rate. Hormones like thyroid hormone, insulin, and adrenaline play significant roles in regulating energy use. This constant modulation supports different activity levels, from deep rest to intense exertion. The lymphatic system also absorbs dietary fats from the intestines. Specialized structures called lacteals transport fat molecules into the lymphatic network, eventually releasing them into the bloodstream. This process helps distribute energy-rich lipids throughout the body. It highlights how the digestive and lymphatic systems collaborate to manage nutrient absorption. The lungs have a remarkable capacity for adaptation. In high-altitude environments, the body increases breathing rate, produces more red blood cells, and improves oxygen extraction efficiency. Over time, these changes enhance performance in low-oxygen conditions. This flexibility demonstrates how environmental factors shape physiological responses. Human bones contain minerals like calcium and phosphorus that contribute to structural strength. These minerals are stored and released based on the body's needs, maintaining balance through hormonal regulation. Parathyroid hormone and calcitonin control how much calcium is released from or deposited into bone tissue. This mineral homeostasis supports not only bone strength, but also nerve signaling and muscle contraction. Your skin microbiome consists of beneficial bacteria that protect against harmful microbes. These microorganisms maintain balance by competing for resources and producing substances that inhibit pathogens. The composition of the skin microbiome varies across the body, influenced by moisture, temperature, and oil production. This invisible ecosystem plays an essential role in skin health and immune defense. The kidneys regulate blood pressure partly by adjusting fluid levels and secreting hormones like renin. When blood volume decreases, the kidneys signal the body to retain sodium and water, restoring pressure. Conversely, when pressure is too high, the kidneys increase excretion. This dynamic control helps maintain stable circulation despite changes in hydration or salt intake. Pain perception involves complex processing. Nerve endings detect harmful stimuli and send signals to the spinal cord, where some responses trigger immediate withdrawal. Other signals travel to the brain, where emotional context, attention, and prior experiences influence how pain is perceived. This layered approach ensures rapid protection while allowing flexibility based on situation and interpretation. Vision relies on multiple brain regions working together. The primary visual cortex processes basic shapes and orientation, while other areas interpret motion, color, and depth. Further connections associate visual input with memory, emotion, and decision-making. Seeing is an integrated process that draws on numerous systems simultaneously. The heart's electrical conduction system includes nodes and fibers that coordinate contraction timing. The sinoatrial node acts as the natural pacemaker, generating impulses that spread across the atria. The signal then passes through the atrioventricular node and into specialized fibers that stimulate the ventricles. This sequence ensures that blood flows efficiently with each heartbeat. Disturbances in the system can cause arrhythmias, showing how essential precise timing is. When the body senses infection, fever-supporting pathways activate to increase internal temperature. Higher temperatures can slow pathogen growth and enhance immune function. Although fever may cause discomfort, it often plays a beneficial role in fighting illness. Once the immune system gains control, regulatory mechanisms bring temperature back to normal. Your digestive system adjusts enzyme production based on the type of food consumed. Fats trigger the release of lipase, proteins stimulate protease secretion, and carbohydrates activate amylase production. This tailored response ensures efficient breakdown and absorption of nutrients. The coordination between hormones, nerves, and digestive organs maintains seamless digestion. The sense of smell helps detect not only pleasant aromas, but also potential dangers, such as smoke or spoiled food. Olfactory receptors respond to thousands of different chemical compounds, and the brain interprets complex combinations to identify odors. Smell influences behavior, memory, appetite, and emotion. Its sensitivity and breadth make it one of the most powerful sensory systems in the body. The body's ability to maintain balance during movement relies on rapid communication between multiple systems. As you walk, the vestibular system detects head motion, the eyes track the environment, and proprioceptors in muscles and joints signal limb position. The brain integrates all this information within milliseconds to adjust posture and coordination.
This seamless interplay allows you to navigate uneven terrain, avoid obstacles, and maintain stability even when distractions occur. Blood regulates temperature by absorbing heat from active muscles and transporting it to the skin, where it can dissipate through radiation and evaporation. During cold weather, blood vessels constrict to conserve heat, redirecting warm blood toward vital organs. This thermoregulatory strategy ensures that metabolic processes function within a narrow temperature range, protecting enzymes and cellular structures from damage. Your bones are constantly responding to mechanical stress. When you engage in weight-bearing activities, bones detect the strain and signal osteoblasts to reinforce the affected areas. In contrast, lack of movement leads to reduced bone density. This responsiveness helps maintain skeletal strength and supports adaptation to different levels of physical activity. It is why astronauts lose bone mass in microgravity and why resistance training strengthens bones over time. The mouth contains multiple salivary glands that produce different types of saliva. Some secretions are watery and help dissolve food particles, while others are thicker and provide lubrication. Saliva contains enzymes, antibodies, and buffering agents that protect teeth and oral tissues. It also neutralizes acids produced by bacteria, preventing tooth decay. These combined functions make saliva a key contributor to oral health beyond its role in digestion. Your body's internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm, influences hormone release, body temperature, and cognitive performance. Light exposure plays a major role in synchronizing this clock. Bright light in the morning increases alertness, while darkness signals the body to produce melatonin and prepare for sleep. Disruptions to the circadian rhythm can affect mood, appetite, and energy levels, showing how closely biology follows natural cycles. The liver filters blood traveling from the digestive tract before it enters general circulation. It identifies toxins, metabolizes medications, and regulates nutrient availability. This gatekeeping role protects the body from harmful substances and ensures a balanced supply of energy. The liver's ability to detoxify and process compounds highlights its importance in maintaining internal stability. Your muscles coordinate contractions using electrical impulses that travel along nerve fibers. These impulses trigger the release of calcium within muscle cells, causing proteins to slide past one another and generate force. Once the signal stops, calcium is pumped back into storage, allowing the muscle to relax. This cycle repeats with every movement, from lifting heavy objects to performing delicate tasks. The eyes constantly adjust focus through tiny muscles that change the shape of the lens. This process, called accommodation, allows you to shift attention between near and distant objects. The pupils also change size to regulate the amount of light entering the eye. These rapid adjustments work together to maintain clear vision in dynamic environments. The immune system produces antibodies that specifically target foreign molecules. Once created, these antibodies remain in the body for months or years, ready to respond quickly if the same threat reappears. This immunological memory forms the basis of long-term protection. Vaccination leverages this natural mechanism by training the immune system without requiring exposure to harmful pathogens. The heart adapts to physical training by increasing stroke volume, enabling it to pump more blood with each beat. Over time, this can reduce resting heart rate because fewer beats are needed to maintain circulation. Endurance training strengthens the cardiovascular system, improving efficiency and resilience. These adaptations illustrate how responsive the heart is to sustained physical activity. The digestive system depends on a network of nerves known as the enteric nervous system. This network controls muscle contractions, enzyme secretion, and blood flow within the intestines. It operates largely independently but communicates with the central nervous system to coordinate responses. This autonomy ensures that digestion remains efficient even during periods of stress or distraction. Skin pigmentation results from melanin produced by specialized cells called melanocytes. Melanin absorbs ultraviolet radiation, protecting DNA from damage.
Variations in skin tone reflect adaptations to different levels of sunlight exposure across the globe. This protective mechanism highlights how environmental pressures shape human physiology. The respiratory system relies on elastic fibers in the lungs that allow expansion and contraction during breathing. These fibers must remain flexible to maintain effective ventilation. Over time, factors like pollution, smoking, or illness can reduce elasticity, affecting lung performance. Maintaining respiratory health supports efficient oxygen exchange and overall vitality. The skeleton supports movement not only through structure, but also through strategic leverage. Bones act as levers, and joints act as fulcrums, allowing muscles to generate force efficiently. Different bones create different mechanical advantages, enabling both powerful movements and fine motor control. This biomechanical design makes the body capable of a wide range of actions, from sprinting to riding. Your ability to smell relies on hundreds of receptors tuned to different chemical shapes. Each scent activates a specific combination of receptors, allowing the brain to identify thousands of unique odors. Smell also influences appetite, mood, and memory. Even subtle changes in scent can trigger emotional responses, demonstrating the powerful link between olfaction and human experience. The kidneys also influence red blood cell production by releasing a hormone that signals the bone marrow to increase output. This response ensures that the body maintains adequate oxygen carrying capacity. When oxygen levels drop, such as at high altitudes, the kidneys respond by increasing hormone release, helping the body adapt to lower oxygen availability. Your muscles rely on mitochondria to produce energy efficiently. These tiny organelles convert nutrients into ATP through a process that requires oxygen. Regular physical activity increases the number and efficiency of mitochondria, improving endurance and resilience. Mitochondria also play roles in cell signaling and programmed cell death, making them essential to both energy production and cellular health. The brain integrates signals from multiple senses to form a coherent perception of reality. For example, sight and sound often combine to enhance understanding. When watching someone speak, visual cues help interpret speech. This multi-sensory integration allows the brain to fill in gaps, correct inaccuracies, and create a stable representation of the world despite constantly changing input. Hormonal regulation supports stress adaptation. When faced with a challenge, cortisol and adrenaline increase energy availability and sharpen focus. Once the challenge passes, other hormones restore balance. Chronic stress disrupts this cycle, leading to fatigue and reduced resilience. This dynamic interplay highlights the importance of recovery and balance in maintaining well-being. Your body stores energy in multiple forms. Glycogen in the liver provides quick access to glucose, while fat tissue serves as long-term storage. Muscles also hold glycogen for immediate use during physical activity. This layered approach ensures the body has fuel for both short bursts and extended demands, reflecting evolution's emphasis on survival in unpredictable environments. The immune system uses checkpoints to prevent excessive responses that can damage healthy tissue. Regulatory cells monitor immune activity and suppress reactions when necessary. This balancing act ensures that defenses activate when needed but do not escalate unnecessarily. Autoimmune disorders occur when this regulation fails, showing how critical immune balance is for health. Joint stability depends on ligaments, tendons, and surrounding muscles. Ligaments connect bones and prevent excessive movement, while tendons connect muscles to bones and transmit force. Strong, balanced muscles support joint alignment and reduce strain on connective tissues. This integrated support system allows joints to withstand daily stress and complex motion patterns. The lungs remove not only carbon dioxide, but also volatile compounds produced by metabolism. Some of these chemicals contribute to the scent of breath. Changes in lung function or metabolism can influence these compounds, providing diagnostic clues in medical settings. This relationship shows how closely linked respiration is with the body's internal chemistry. Your body maintains pH within a narrow range to support enzyme function and metabolic processes. The lungs regulate pH by adjusting carbon dioxide levels, while the kidneys excrete acids or retain bicarbonate. Blood buffers absorb excess hydrogen ions to prevent sudden shifts. This robust yet delicate system sustains the chemical environment required for life. Hormones influence muscle growth beyond simple activity. Growth hormone, testosterone, and insulin-like factors all contribute to repairing and building muscle tissue. Adequate sleep and nutrition support this process, ensuring that exercise leads to adaptation rather than fatigue. This interplay of activity, hormones, and recovery helps maintain strength and vitality. Cells communicate through electrical and chemical signals that travel across networks. Neurons fire in patterns that encode movement, thought, and emotion. Hormones circulate through the bloodstream, delivering messages that act more slowly but over larger areas. Together, these communication systems coordinate the actions of trillions of cells, enabling the body to
function as a unified whole. The structure of your blood vessels allows them to adjust dynamically to meet the body's needs. Arteries have thicker, more elastic walls to withstand the high pressure from the heart's pumping action, while veins contain valves that prevent backflow and help move blood against gravity. Capillaries, the smallest vessels, allow oxygen and nutrients to diffuse directly into tissues. This branching network ensures efficient distribution and collection, supporting every cell from head to toe. The body's ability to regulate glucose levels involves sophisticated hormonal coordination. After eating, insulin signals cells to absorb glucose, preventing dangerous spikes. When blood sugar drops, hormones such as glucagon trigger the release of stored glucose. These opposing actions maintain a stable supply of energy for the brain and muscles. Disruptions in this balance can affect mood, cognition, and physical performance, underscoring its importance. Your nails provide structural support for the fingertips, enabling precision tasks such as grasping, scratching, and manipulating small objects. They also protect the delicate tissues beneath them from damage. The growth rate of nails depends on factors like blood flow, nutrition, and overall health. Changes in nail appearance can even signal underlying medical conditions, making them indicators of internal well-being. Hormones influence emotional responses through complex mechanisms. Neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine shape mood, motivation, and reward. Hormonal fluctuations can amplify or dampen these signals, creating shifts in emotional intensity. This dynamic balance explains why emotions can change in response to sleep, diet, stress, and social interaction. Your digestive system adapts to different types of foods through enzyme regulation and microbial adjustments. Diets rich in fiber support beneficial bacteria that ferment plant material, producing compounds that nourish the colon. High-fat meals trigger bile release to aid in digestion, while protein-heavy meals require stronger enzyme activity. This flexibility allows humans to thrive on diverse diets across different environments. The muscular system relies on synchronization between agonist and antagonist muscles. When one muscle contracts to create movement, its counterpart relaxes to allow the motion. This balance prevents injury and supports fluid, controlled motion. For example, when bending the elbow, the biceps contract while the triceps lengthen. This coordinated interplay occurs in every movement, from walking to fine motor tasks. The skin contains mechanoreceptors that detect pressure and texture. Some respond to light touches, while others react to deeper pressure or vibration. These receptors enable you to distinguish between smooth, rough, soft, and sharp surfaces. They allow tasks like typing, drawing, and using tools to feel natural and precise. Touch also contributes to emotional communication, reinforcing social bonds. The respiratory system participates in speech production by controlling airflow. The rate and force of exhalation influence volume and tone. The vocal cords vibrate at specific frequencies to create sound, and articulators such as the tongue and lips shape the sound into recognizable speech. This coordinated effort transforms breath into language, emotion, and creativity.
Your immune system includes specialized cells that patrol the body for signs of infection or injury. Natural killer cells identify abnormal cells, while macrophages engulf debris and pathogens. T and B cells form the adaptive immune system, creating targeted responses and long-term memory. This layered defense ensures that immediate threats are managed quickly, while long-lasting protection develops over time. Sleep supports not only cognitive processes, but also metabolic regulation. During deep sleep, the body repairs tissues, builds bone and muscle, and strengthens the immune system. Hormones that regulate hunger and stress reset during sleep, supporting balanced appetite and emotional stability. Poor sleep disrupts these processes, demonstrating the essential nature of restorative rest. Your body responds to environmental temperature by adjusting blood flow, sweating, and shivering. When overheating, sweat evaporates from the skin to release heat. When cold, shivering generates warmth through rapid muscle contractions. These automatic responses ensure that internal temperature remains stable despite changes in climate. The skeleton protects vital organs with specialized structures. The rib cage shields the heart and lungs, while the skull protects the brain. The spine encases the spinal cord, providing both support and protection. These protective functions work alongside structural and movement roles, making the skeleton a multifunctional framework essential for survival. Genetic variation contributes to differences in metabolism, muscle composition, immune responses, and sensory perception. These variations reflect adaptations to different environments and lifestyles over thousands of years. Understanding genetic diversity helps explain why individuals respond differently to diet, exercise, medication, and environmental factors. The muscles that control your eyes are among the fastest in the body. They allow rapid adjustments in gaze, helping you track moving objects and shift focus instantly. These tiny muscles work continuously, even during sleep, when they produce the rapid eye movements associated with dreaming. Their speed and precision contribute to the fluid, coordinated nature of human sight. The cardiovascular system transports not only oxygen, but also hormones, nutrients, immune cells, and waste products. Each component of blood serves a purpose. Plasma carries dissolved substances, red blood cells deliver oxygen, white blood cells defend against infection, and platelets help repair injuries. This distribution network functions around the clock, adapting to changing needs and ensuring that every tissue receives necessary support. The brain's plasticity allows it to adapt after injury by reorganizing neural pathways. Undamaged areas can sometimes take over functions of damaged regions, especially with training and rehabilitation. This adaptability underscores the resilience of the nervous system and its ability to support recovery even after significant disruptions. Sweat glands play a key role in temperature regulation. Eccrine glands produce watery sweat that cools the body through evaporation, while apocrine glands release thicker sweat associated with scent. These glands activate based on heat, stress, and physical exertion. The ability to cool through sweating gives humans a unique endurance advantage compared to many other mammals. Muscle contraction depends on the availability of calcium ions inside muscle fibers. When a nerve signal triggers contraction, calcium floods the cell, allowing proteins to bind and generate force. After the contraction, calcium is pumped back into storage, enabling relaxation. This cycle repeats rapidly during movement, creating smooth and coordinated actions. The brain regulates thirst through sensors that detect changes in blood concentration. When dehydration begins, the brain signals the desire to drink long before severe symptoms appear. This early warning system helps maintain proper hydration and prevents disruptions to cellular processes. The body also conserves water by reducing sweat and urine output when necessary. Your respiratory system filters out many airborne particles before they reach the lungs. Nasal hairs trap larger debris, while mucus captures smaller particles. The cilia lining the respiratory tract move this mucus upward, where it can be swallowed and neutralized. This defense system protects delicate lung tissue from environmental contaminants and pathogens. The gastrointestinal tract contains beneficial bacteria that produce vitamins such as K and certain B vitamins. These microbes help break down complex carbohydrates, support immune function, and maintain gut integrity. The balance of these organisms shifts in response to diet, stress, and illness, making the microbiome a dynamic part of human health. Taste perception involves more than the tongue. Temperature, smell, texture, and even sound contribute to the experience of flavor. For example, the crunch of a crisp food enhances its perceived freshness. The brain integrates signals from multiple senses to create a complete impression of taste, demonstrating how sensory systems work together to shape perception. The endocrine system adjusts metabolism through hormones that influence how quickly the body burns energy. Thyroid hormones, for example, increase cellular activity, generating heat and supporting growth. Insufficient hormone levels can slow metabolism, causing fatigue and weight changes. Proper hormonal balance ensures that energy production matches the body's needs. Your circulatory system adapts to physical activity by redirecting blood flow to working muscles. At rest, digestive organs receive substantial blood flow, but during exercise, circulation shifts dramatically. This flexibility allows the body to prioritize oxygen delivery where it is most needed, enhancing performance and endurance. The kidneys also maintain electrolyte balance by filtering and selectively reabsorbing ions like sodium and potassium. This regulation supports nerve transmission, muscle function, and hydration. Even small imbalances can affect these systems, emphasizing the importance of kidney function in maintaining homeostasis. Pain receptors serve as a protective mechanism by alerting the body to potential harm. They detect mechanical, thermal, and chemical stimuli that may damage tissue. When activated, these receptors send signals to the spinal cord and brain, prompting reflexive actions to prevent injury. Pain perception is influenced by emotional state, attention, and past experience, making it a complex and adaptive response. The heart adapts its rhythm and force of contraction based on immediate physical and emotional demands. When you're calm, the parasympathetic system slows the heart rate, conserving energy. During stress or exertion, the sympathetic system accelerates heartbeat and increases blood flow to muscles. This constant modulation enables rapid transitions between rest and action, supporting both survival and performance. Your skeletal muscles rely on coordinated motor units, each composed of a motor neuron and the muscle fibers it controls. Small motor units manage fine movements, such as writing, while larger units generate powerful contractions for jumping or lifting. Training can improve motor unit recruitment, enhancing strength and control. This layered design allows the muscular system to handle diverse tasks efficiently. The eyes contain photoreceptors that adapt to brightness changes, enabling vision in environments ranging from dim moonlight to bright sunlight. Rods provide sensitivity in low light, while cones handle color and detail. Pupils constrict or dilate to regulate light intake, protecting delicate retinal cells. This adaptability allows humans to function in a wide variety of lighting conditions. The liver synthesizes proteins essential for blood clotting and immune function. It also converts ammonia, a toxic byproduct of metabolism, into urea for safe excretion. These chemical processes maintain internal equilibrium and support vital functions. The liver's diverse roles make it one of the most multifunctional organs in the body. The brainstem governs essential life functions such as breathing, heart rate, and swallowing. These automatic processes occur without conscious control, ensuring survival regardless of attention or awareness. Damage to the brainstem can disrupt these functions, demonstrating its foundational role in maintaining life. Your muscles generate heat as a byproduct of contraction. This thermal energy helps maintain body temperature, especially during cold conditions. Shivering amplifies this effect through rapid, involuntary muscle contractions. The integration of movement and thermal regulation underscores how bodily systems cooperate to preserve stability. Red blood cells transport oxygen using hemoglobin, a protein that binds oxygen molecules in the lungs and releases them in tissues. Hemoglobin's structure allows it to adjust oxygen affinity based on factors like temperature and pH, ensuring efficient delivery. This fine-tuning supports metabolic needs across different environments and levels of activity. The sense of hearing depends on the precise arrangement of hair cells in the cochlea. Each cell responds to specific frequencies, allowing the brain to interpret sound with remarkable detail. Damage to these cells can impair hearing because they do not regenerate in humans. Their sensitivity enables complex auditory tasks such as understanding speech and appreciating music. Digestion begins even before food enters the mouth. The anticipation of eating triggers salivary secretion and prepares the stomach to release acid and enzymes. This anticipatory reaction demonstrates how the body uses sensory cues to optimize internal processes. Bone marrow also contains stem cells capable of differentiating into various blood cell types. These stem cells replenish the supply of red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets throughout life. Their ability to self-renew and transform is essential for maintaining healthy blood composition. The respiratory system supports acid-base balance by adjusting carbon dioxide levels. Increased breathing expels more carbon dioxide, raising blood pH, while slower breathing allows carbon dioxide to accumulate, lowering pH. This mechanism works in conjunction with the kidneys to maintain stable chemical conditions for cellular activity. Muscle tone, the continuous, low-level contraction of muscle fibers, keeps the body ready for movement and maintains posture. Even at rest, muscles remain slightly active, enabling quick responses. Changes in muscle tone can indicate neurological or metabolic conditions, demonstrating its diagnostic importance. The autonomic nervous system controls involuntary processes such as digestion, heart rate, and breathing. This system primarily operates without conscious control, enabling rapid adaptation to body needs. This potent system influences sleep, mood, and respiration. Emotions influence physical reactions through pathways connecting the brain and autonomic nervous system. Fear can cause sweating, increased heart rate, and heightened alertness, while relaxation promotes slower breathing and reduced tension. These responses evolved to support survival and social connection. The integration of emotion and physiology highlights the unity of mind and body.
The skeletal system not only supports the body, but also acts as a mineral reserve. Calcium and phosphorus stored in bone can be released into the bloodstream when needed for nerve signaling, muscle contraction, and other metabolic functions. This regulatory role ensures that mineral levels remain stable even when dietary intake fluctuates. Hormones constantly adjust the balance between bone formation and bone breakdown to maintain internal equilibrium. Smooth muscles, found in organs such as the intestines and blood vessels, operate without conscious control. They contract rhythmically to move substances through the digestive tract, regulate blood pressure, and adjust airflow in the lungs. Their slow, sustained contractions differ from the rapid movements of skeletal muscles, demonstrating the body's ability to tailor muscle function to specific tasks. The hypothalamus acts as the body's master regulator, integrating signals from across the nervous and endocrine system. It monitors factors such as temperature, hunger, hydration, and circadian rhythm. Based on this information, it directs hormonal releases and autonomic responses. The hypothalamus ensures that countless variables remain within life-supporting ranges. Smooth blood contains buffers that prevent drastic changes in pH. Proteins, phosphates, and bicarbonate ions absorb or release hydrogen ions as needed. This buffering capacity protects cells from harmful fluctuations in acidity, which could disrupt enzyme activity and metabolism. The stability of blood pH is vital for proper physiological function. The body's ability to heal wounds involves inflammation, tissue formation, and remodeling. After an injury, immune cells clear debris while fibroblasts produce collagen to close the gap. Over time, new tissue strengthens and integrates with surrounding structures. This process can take weeks or months depending on the severity of the injury, but the body's capacity for repair is remarkably robust.
Your senses continually recalibrate based on context. After spending time in a dark room, your eyes become more sensitive to light. When entering a quiet environment, your ears pick up softer sounds. These adjustments help you navigate different conditions efficiently. Sensory recalibration highlights the body's continual effort to optimize perception. Hair serves as a protective layer for the skin, shielding it from sunlight and reducing friction. It also plays a role in sensory detection by responding to air movement. Tiny muscles at the base of each hair follicle can contract to produce goosebumps, which historically helped trap heat. While less critical for humans today, these responses showcase evolutionary remnants of past environments. Hormonal cycles influence appetite, mood, and energy levels. Fluctuations in hormones such as estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone can affect sleep quality, stress responses, and metabolism. Understanding these patterns can help individuals manage physical and emotional shifts more effectively. The circulatory system delivers immune cells to sites of injury or infection, supporting rapid defense. Blood vessels widen to increase flow, allowing more immune cells to reach the affected area. This targeted response helps contain threats quickly. The close relationship between circulation and immunity ensures that protection is both mobile and immediate. The process of swallowing requires precise coordination among muscles in the mouth, throat, and esophagus. The epiglottis closes to prevent food from entering the airway, while muscular waves move food toward the stomach. This automatic sequence allows safe and efficient consumption of food. The nervous system includes reflex arcs that bypass the brain for faster responses. When touching something hot, your hand withdraws before you consciously register the pain. These reflexes minimize injury by reducing reaction time. Meanwhile, the brain processes the event afterward, shaping future behavior. Hormones influence water retention and excretion. Antidiuretic hormone signals the kidneys to conserve water, while other hormones promote fluid loss. These adjustments maintain blood volume and concentration, ensuring proper circulation and cellular hydration. The digestive system interacts with the immune system through gut-associated lymphoid tissue. This tissue monitors microbes and dietary particles, producing immune responses when necessary. It allows the body to distinguish between harmless substances and potential threats, maintaining balance in the gut environment.
All of these systems working together reveal a simple truth. The human body is an extraordinary collection of interconnected mechanisms operating with remarkable precision. Every breath, every heartbeat, every movement reflects countless microscopic events happening in perfect sequence. You navigate the world with ease not because the body is simple, but because it is so masterfully complex that its processes become invisible to you. Understanding how all these parts function gives you a deeper appreciation for what your body does every moment of your life. It repairs, regulates, responds, adapts, and evolves, all while you go about your day without noticing the thousands of tasks happening behind the scenes. These 25 fun facts barely scratch the surface of what makes you such an intricate biological masterpiece. From the strength of your bones to the sensitivity of your senses, from the intelligence of your gut to the adaptability of your brain, every part of you reflects millions of years of refinement. There are endless details still waiting to be explored, and each one adds to the story of how extraordinary the human body truly is. If you enjoyed diving into these hidden abilities and surprising details, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps bring even more fascinating breakdowns and deep dive explorations of the world around you. Thanks for watching, and stay curious. There's always more to discover.